Your summer just started and you're already falling right back into the same old cycle. Back in May, right in the middle of exam season, you promised yourself you'd finally get a job, learn a skill, hit the gym, and fix your sleep schedule the second you were free. But here you are, barely a week into break. It's 3 a.m., you're doom scrolling in the dark, sweating in online games, and already setting yourself up to waste the entire vacation. You think it's too late to fix the momentum, but it's not. The summer literally just kicked off, and if you listen carefully for the next few minutes, you can still save it. And look, I'm not saying this as some productivity influencer who has his life completely figured out. I'm saying this because I'm exactly like you. I'm the guy who promises himself the world during finals and ends up rotting in bed by the first week of July. But a few days ago, I sat down and looked at why we always screw this up before the season even gets going. For me, it always starts the exact same way. I wake up late, my eyes hurt from the screen light, and the very first thing I feel is guilt. I look around my room and, think about that project I wanted to start, that skill I wanted to learn, that book I promised myself I'd read. But it all just feels too heavy. It feels like since I already wasted this morning, the whole day is already wasted. So I just double down on the garbage. I log into a game, I sweat for 6 hours, and then I close it and I'm in the exact same spot as I were before. And the worst part is, you didn't even start the summer being lazy. You started with massive expectations, you set clear goals. You actually wanted to do stuff. When I tell myself I'll learn a skill in May, I imagine myself being the guy who's consistently practicing, building a routine, and getting visibly better by the end of June. But since I always fail to keep that perfect image, I end up falling into a weird trap, taking a little bite out of everything. You open a coding tutorial for one day, you watch a video on a new topic the next day, you read 3 pages of a book, and by the time June is over, you realize you didn't go deep enough into any of it to actually learn something useful. You just sampled a bunch of hobbies while your summer suddenly melted away in the background. We do this because the beginning of a skill is always fun and easy, but the second it requires actual effort, we get bored. Instead of pushing through the boring part, we jump to a completely new skill just to get that day one excitement back. You convince yourself you're being productive because you're exploring options, but in reality you're just running away from consistency. This might sound cold, but time doesn't stop moving only for you to experiment with 10 different skills only to realize none of them are of any use to your future. So instead of guessing blindly, taking some time to actually search and figure out what skill you genuinely benefit from having might work out better for you. Once you got that locked in, you have to start executing the idea. At this point, you might be wondering, how am I going to convince my brain to jump from doom scrolling to learning a real skill in such short time? But honestly, the solution is pretty simple. It comes down to a rule so simple it sounds stupid. While this may sound cliche, the only thing that can literally stop you from throwing away another day in the trash can is just counting to 3 and just doing something productive immediately after. At least starting to do something. It doesn't matter what the subject is or for how long you're actually going to stick to it. You just do it regardless of the imperfections. Here's a trick. You have to convince your brain to do the absolute bare minimum just to get the engine going. Tell yourself you're only going to open the book for 2 minutes or do 5 push-ups or write 1 line of text. If we're being real at this point, counting down to 3 won't always magically make you chase your goals instead of wasting time. When you're scrolling mindlessly on TikTok or Instagram, this is probably going to sound stupid to you, like, why would you just randomly count to 3 and then throw away the free hit of dopamine you get from doom scrolling? But to prevent this from happening, I'll give you a simple yet effective tip. Delete every app that distracts you, at least temporarily. And before you start coming up with an excuse like, I use this app to text my friends, or I genuinely learn useful stuff from them, I'm going to clear things up for you. First, you won't miss out on anything by deleting distractions. You don't doom scroll to learn useful stuff. Both you and I know you do it because you have nothing better to do. And it feels like you're having fun when you do it. I say that because I myself do it for the exact same reason. Second, if communication is the problem, there are more than enough alternatives. You can just text your friends, call them, or meet them IRL. So no excuses. Delete any app that's draining your energy without thinking twice. Now, if you do all of these and actually start doing the work, parenthetically, you and I both know that you probably won't stop after 2 minutes once you start. If you actually did stop after 2 minutes, you just feel like garbage all over again, because it's too small to feel like you actually accomplished anything. But you're not supposed to think that before you start. You have to completely trick your brain into believing the 2-minute lie. You just focus on the bare minimum before starting, and the rest will come naturally. You may not have made the biggest change on day one, but one thing is for sure. You did better than sitting on your ass all day and doing absolutely nothing. The positive feeling of finally doing something productive will make you want more. You'll do it again and you will actually enjoy doing it, whatever it is. But be careful not to outperform yourself and burn out. You definitely want to do better each time. But the hunger for productivity could easily backfire if you try to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Take it nice and easy and the habit will build itself. There's no need to study 14 hours from day one. You just focus on maintaining consistency first and quantity will appear soon enough. So, let's say you get past the first steps. If you try the tips I gave you so far, you might actually start applying the 3-second rule and the 2-minute lie. You might even delete the apps. You might actually turn the engine on and get started. But if you don't have a clear goal, you're going to hit a wall. You'll be stranded. You won't really know where to go next, which ultimately results in confusion and underperforming your own expectations. It's like booking a flight to a random country with your eyes closed and then wondering why you don't know where you are or which places you're supposed to visit. You're moving, but you're lost. To prevent this from happening, you have to set a clear goal. And it doesn't have to be something massive like, by the end of summer, I should have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube and make $10,000 a month off of it. Because an overly exhausting milestone is just as toxic as doing absolutely nothing. You only have to set a rational, totally reachable goal. And look, this is not about limiting your expectations or not using your full potential. It's just about matching your expectations with how real life actually works. You don't learn a skill or make generational wealth overnight. You have to be patient and trust the process. Plus, there's another massive advantage to setting clear goals. It lets you actually find the balance between being productive and having fun. You'll have just enough time for both your milestones and your entertainment, because after all, you're supposed to enjoy your summer too, you're supposed to have fun too, we're not robots. Finally, there's one last thing I need to mention. None of these tips mean a damn thing if you don't actually apply them in your life. Listening to motivational speeches, watching hundreds of how to fix your life videos, learning complicated psychological terms that address your issue, none of them fix a single thing. In fact, watching self-improvement videos is just another form of procrastination. It tricks your brain into feeling like you're actually doing work, when in reality, you're just sitting on your ass consuming content. You get a cheap hit of satisfaction from watching someone else be productive, and then you close the app and go right back to doing nothing. It's a loop and it changes absolutely zero before you stop consuming content and actually start making a change. So remember, nothing is going to change a thing except actually doing the thing. You aren't clueless. You know exactly what to do to get yourself out of this mess. So stop watching YouTube videos because they're all repeating the same thing, and start executing the things you learned.